Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be going over the Rays and Orioles Game 3 of the series that just ended literally like 10 seconds ago. I wanted to get on here and record this episode as soon as humanly possible. But the Orioles do go out here today and get a win, and we all love a nice little, Sunday afternoon heart attack at the end of this Orioles game. Because it really was down to the wire. The Orioles won this game 5-3 over the Rays, but it was almost very, very bad at the end of the game. Felix Bautista had the bases loaded with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning with Junior Caminero up to bat. He eventually got the strikeout on a 3-2 count, but it was very, very nerve-wracking to end the game because one big swing or one big base hit as well could have just ended the game for the Orioles, and we would have gotten swept and gotten walked off. But after a 32-pitch 9th inning for Felix Bautista, he goes out there, he gets the save. It was very close, very nerve-wracking, but the Orioles do go out here and get a win today, and they do avoid getting swept by the Rays. They still lose this series 2-1, but they do avoid getting swept. So, and they also ended their losing streak of 4 games, so now they're back in the win column, and hopefully they can carry that on to this upcoming 4-game series against the Guardians. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If there is any humanly possible chance that this Orioles team wants to get back into the season, they're going to have to sweep the Guardians. And I'm just going to be completely honest with you. The Guardians obviously have a lot of talent. We know this. But they're going to have to go there and sweep the Guardians in this upcoming series. It's a 4-game series against them, so it is going to be a little bit longer than normal. But the Orioles are going to have to get a sweep on the Guardians. Or at least win the series 3-1, bare minimum. There is literally, we cannot split the series. We cannot lose the series. We have to win this upcoming series against the Guardians no matter what. I know that there's a lot of people out there that, have no belief and zero belief in this Orioles team, and I don't blame you for that, but obviously it's not over till it's over, and, anything can happen in sports. We've seen crazier things happen before, but in this episode, we're just going to be going over this Rays and Orioles game. It was exciting on both sides. Trevor Rogers had another great start today. There was a rain delay that kind of, got in the way of some things. In the top of the 7th inning, there was a rain delay that lasted for 2 hours. Obviously, they are playing in Florida with no roof as well, so obviously these rain delays are going to happen. But there was a rain delay in the middle of the game, or near the end of the game. But the Orioles were able to keep the lead that they had and win the game in. Once the rain delay ended, they were able to come back and win the game. The offense did its thing today. Some people got some really good hits. Gunnar Henderson, obviously, with a huge 2 RBI double. Jackson Holliday led off the game with a leadoff home run in this game. Alex Jackson, the catcher, got a solo home run as well. But overall, offense did its thing, got on base, 5 total runs scored this game, and the pitching did its thing by only giving up 3 runs, even though it was very, very nerve-wracking near the end of the game. The pitching still went out and did its thing. So let's just go over this game. So going over this Orioles and Rays game, obviously the Orioles win this game 5-3 over the Rays. Their record moves to 44-54 on the season. We are 98 games through the season. 5-3 or 5-3 Orioles win, 44-54 record on the season. The Orioles are 10 games now below 500. Which, they're back to, borderline double digits, but, if they can go out and get a win tomorrow, they can cut it back down to single digits. Obviously, there's still an absolutely immense amount of work that would need to be done for this Orioles team, not only to get back to being 500, but also to even have a chance to make the playoffs. But, we'll talk about that more when that actually potentially maybe actually becomes a possibility. But I just wanted to go over this game. The Orioles win this game 5-3. They have 9 total hits on the day. They got walked only once in this game. 10 total base runners, 5 total runs scored, 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So the Orioles had a lot of chances to score more runs, but obviously you can't always be perfect with runners in scoring position. They go 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, left 5 guys on base. But going over the batters in this game, Jackson Holliday went 1 for 4 with a solo home run to start the game off in the top of the first inning. A leadoff homer for Jackson Holliday. Obviously, back in yesterday's game, he was very, very close to hitting a go-ahead home run in the top of the ninth inning. He was right there. It would have been a homer in like 15 out of 30 ballparks. But today, gets his revenge on that, hits a solo home run to lead off this game. And now, Jackson Holliday actually has the most home runs on the Orioles, tied with Cedric Mullins with 13. So, Jackson Holliday, 13 home runs, tied for the most on the Orioles. I know it sounds crazy that the home run leader only has 13 home runs, and I'd have to agree with you there. But Jackson Holliday gets a solo home run in this game. Shout out to him. Also gets walked, goes 1 for 4, 5 total, not 5, 2 total base appearances, obviously the solo home run. Jordan Westbrook in this game goes 2 for 4. He's actually the only person in this game to have a multi-hit game. Everybody else, there was a lot of guys who had one hit in this game, but Jordan Westbrook was able to go out there and have a multi-hit game. Goes 2 for 4 with a run scored. Gunnar Henderson goes 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. His one hit was a 2 RBI double that really inflated the Orioles' lead by a lot, obviously by 2 runs, and that ended up being a very big difference in this game, and it ended up mattering a lot. Brian O'Hearn in this game goes 1 for 4 with a solo home run. It's been quite a bit since Brian O'Hearn has last hit a home run, and also over the past calendar month, Brian O'Hearn has been not doing amazing like he was for most of the season already. But Ryan O'Hearn does get a solo home run today, obviously potentially increasing his trade stock once we do possibly decide to trade him. We'll go over that more in a second, what I heard Mike Elias say earlier on the radio. But Ryan O'Hearn gets a solo home run today. Ramon Laureano goes 0 for 2. Ramon Urias comes in as a pinch hitter. He goes 0 for 2 as well. Colton Cowser goes 1 for 4. Tyler O'Neill goes 1 for 4. Cedric Mullins goes 1 for 4. And then Austin Jackson, the 6th catcher on the Orioles rotation, goes 1 for 4 with a solo home run. His first home run as an Oriole and his first home run in over 3 years in the majors. So shout out to Austin Jackson. All the runs scored in this game obviously mattered a lot, obviously, because it was a 2-run game and it got very close near the end of it. But the Orioles offense was able to go out there and do its thing and do enough to win. But going over the pitching, we got to talk about the man of the hour, man. I mean, this guy has been absolutely elite since he's been with the Orioles this year. Looking back to last year, he was horrible for the Orioles. Going back to even him in the minor leagues this season and last year, he was horrible. Dealt with some injuries in spring training. Eventually, the Orioles were kind of forced to call him up because of some injuries happening with their pitching staff, with guys like Zach Eflin and Cade Povich going down with injury. Trevor Rogers was able to get called up again by the Orioles, and he has not disappointed in the slightest. This was his 7th start of the season, so he's really starting to rack up those starts, really starting to rack up those innings. And what do you know? Trevor Rogers gets his 3rd win of the season in those 7 starts. He's now 3-1 recorded record. In 6 innings of work, 6 full innings, Trevor Rogers got through 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 walks, and only 2 runs in this game, with 3 strikeouts in the process and a solo home run as well. So 6 innings, only gave up 2 runs and 7 total base runners, but still only gave up 2 runs. That is impeccable work. That's great. That's obviously a quality start, and you'll take that every single day of the week out of your starting pitcher. Trevor Rogers, a great game, gets a win. His ERA is sitting at a 1.74 across his first 7 starts, and that is immaculate. That is excellent by Trevor Rogers, and he continues to really be the best performing Orioles pitcher overall this season. And then Yennier Cano in this game, he goes through 1 inning, doesn't give up a run. Andrew Kittredge goes through 1 inning, doesn't give up a run. And then Felix Bautista in the 9th inning. It was a very, very scary inning. The Orioles going into that inning were up 5-2 in this game. Oh, Felix also gets the save in this game, his 19th of the season. But Felix Bautista going into this game, the Orioles were winning 5-2. He does give up a run off of a base hit. But Felix Bautista in this game gets through 1 inning, gives up 1 hit and 3 walks, and also obviously the earned run. It wasn't necessarily the base hits which was the problem for Felix. It was the walks. 3 walks in 1 inning, 34 pitches thrown in the 9th inning. It was getting scary. And Felix hasn't pitched in 10 days, so again, he was a little bit, off his mark a little bit, but still 34 pitches thrown in the 9th inning. But he still goes out there and gets the save. It was close, but he was able to go out there and strike out Junior Caminero and get the save of this game. And no matter how you get them, you got to take them. The Orioles get a win, 10 games below 500 now, 44-54 record. They get a 5-3 win, and hopefully they can just carry this over. This little tiny momentum they have with a single win. Hopefully they can carry that over into the series starting tomorrow, which is against the Cleveland Guardians. But so going over and looking at this game is going to be in Cleveland. A little 7-game road trip to start off the second half of the season. But the series is going to be in Cleveland. And going over this game and going over the pitchers in this game, it is going to be Sagano in the first game, Brandon Young in the second game, Charlie Morton in the third game, and Dean Kramer in the fourth game. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to get very, very interesting in this game. But hopefully the Orioles can go out there and just get a series win. Winning 3 out of the 4 or sweeping them, that's the only possible thing I'll be happy with. And I think a lot of Orioles fans will agree. So hopefully they can get those wins and move on to the next. But thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Make sure to like the video as well. Make sure to follow up on Spotify. And if you want more updates from me on the Orioles or the Ravens, make sure to follow the Twitter account. I'm doing live tweets every single day. And also on my Instagram, I'm posting updates on every single time I post an episode. And I'm also doing that on Twitter as well. So make sure to give those a follow. Click the link in the bio of whatever platform you're listening on, either Spotify or YouTube. And obviously the Orioles get a nice win. They ended the losing streak, which was the most important thing. Obviously, they still lose this series, which is not good at the end of the day, but they did avoid getting swept, so it saved the embarrassment just by a little bit, even though they almost got walked off at the end of the game. But the Orioles obviously end the losing streak, get back on the winning path, and hopefully they can keep that going tomorrow, or starting tomorrow in that series versus Cleveland. So I'll have an episode up sometime tomorrow night going over that Cleveland and Baltimore game 1 of that series. Hopefully the Orioles can get a win there and get a little bit of a winning streak going, but we'll see what happens then. I'll see you guys in the next one. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see you later. Peace out.